In my 20s is when I went on a mission. I really, I had a rougher childhood where I was kind of thrown to the wolves in a sense, and I didn't fully respect authority. People judged me all the time, so I felt like I judged people as I got older. I didn't like authority, so I felt like I had to be an entrepreneur because I couldn't work for somebody. I just could not fathom people telling me what to do, what I was worth, when to show up, when to leave. So it was tough for me. So in my 20s, I finally felt my stride, and I was working, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting paid based off my ability to get results. I'm paid off my ability to learn and grow and add value to the marketplace, and it was endless. So in my 20s, I was a whole different animal. I was working 6-7 days a week. I was really felt like I was finally in stride of what I wanted to accomplish. And I was making a lot of money. And 26, 27 years old, I continued to go down that route, made my first million, and continued to do that. I met my wife, and slowly, as I saw where I could go, as I started connecting with higher level people, I had multiple mentors at the time that were always stressed out. They're like, hey, keep it around 2-3 million a year. You get more than that, it's this. Hey, make sure you don't get too this. And honestly, there was a period of time, Omar, where I could have went down that path of like making hundreds of millions of dollars, but losing myself, not focusing on my family, maybe not even building a family. I had people around me like, hey, I'm not going to have kids. I just want to go and crush it. You could travel the world, no responsibility, millions of dollars. And I always had in my heart and soul that I wanted a strong family and wanted to raise strong kids and have a generational impact. So for a year or two, my wife and my mom would literally gang up and show me movies and stories of people working too hard and losing families. And they weren't saying I was doing that, but they were like, hey, make sure you remember, keep your priorities straight. So I remember those days.
Wow.
So I could have got caught up, and I see very clearly ways to make hundreds of millions of dollars and getting so much momentum and being so focused on wealth and money. I could see easily how people make hundreds of millions of dollars, but I can see what it cost them. And I wasn't willing to pay the price of that.
That's really good.
So that's where it came from. So I could have went that route. And I have a very harmonistic lifestyle where I do make money for my family and I have freedom and I can do what I want on my terms. And I've made enough with investing and certain things I've done. I don't have to work, but I want to do what I want to do because I love impacting and I love leading by example and sharing my wisdom that I've learned with people like you and people out there. So
that's really
I've had to go through that though.
Yeah. And I love like you're now operating. I've heard like if you can take care of your bills with like your investment decisions and things are taken care of, the part of your brain that you operate from is a different part of your brain because it's not survival. It's not survival. And so you're in a creative, euphoric state
for sure
to be able to help people. That's really cool.
And I love that because I always feel like too, I know a lot of people that get into what they love doing, then they're like, I got to monetize this. And the second they really try to monetize their guitar skills or their singing or their hobbies, they don't respect it as much anymore. So my goal is, hey, you figure out how to print money, figure out how to add value to the marketplace, solve a problem people care about, figure out your passion and mix it with your strengths and solve a problem. There's a lot of money to be made. Learn how to print money. And then when you learn how to print money and make the money work for you, then just do what you love, do what you feel like you're called to do. And you don't have to do it for money. And here's what's crazy. The money comes. So you stop trying to focus on money and money comes. What did Maxwell say yesterday? He told me in the agreement, he goes, I've never tried to make money. I just feel a need and I add value first and the money comes.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with me. When I put out content and I do things I want to do, I made motivational mixtapes. I've done 6 or 7 of them, never for the money. I actually realized I don't even know how artists make money off streams because I get millions of streams and not a ton of money's coming in. But I do it because I want to impact and I have a message to get out there. But because of that, people will call me, hey, I heard your mixtape. I want you to go speak to our group. We have a budget of $25,000. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't do the mixtape for money, but someone heard the mixtape and paid me 25 grand.
Wow.
That's wild. Now, if I was like, I got to do this mixtape, I got to make money. Hopefully someone listens to it and pays me. It's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
And I think when you come from a scarcity mentality or survival mode, you think money first, and it's really hard to think money first.
That's really good. And honestly, what you're talking about is meekness. Like you say, you can see what you can do to make 100 mil. But then what it takes, it's like, it's power under control, being able to say no. you know?
Yeah. And I just see, I see all too well people that have that money and the status they have. And a lot of times I can see that they're missing something. They don't have the significance. They're not on purpose. They're missing something. I sat with Mike Tyson. My guy, Voogd, was there 2.5 days. Sat with him for 2.5 days for hours and hours, interviewing him, talking to him. And I see a painting behind the wall where we were. And I say, Mike, tell me what's common with all those people behind you. It was Tiger Woods. It was Muhammad Ali, Tom Brady, like some of the best athletes and entertainers in the entire world. I go, what's the common theme of most of the pinnacle of success that you've seen and talked to? He said, shame. I said, what do you mean shame? They're so ashamed of who they are, they hide it with success. Most people they're not content with who they are because of their childhood, so they hide it with all this accolades and success, and they can't stop. So they're playing this part, they're playing this superstar when really they're just trying to hide who they are. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he said that the crazier your childhood was, the more trauma, the more successful you become. And I always knew, Omar, that it's crazy to see how can someone be so successful on top of the world. It's because they're hiding something. Mm-hmm. A person with a normal childhood that just values their family, there's no way you could be that successful. There's too much sacrifice, too much off. It's so lopsided. So that was a pretty crazy thing. We could even crop that clip in. I could even give it to you and you could put it. But it was wild to me. He said they just have a lot of shame. And I don't have shame anymore. I've always had insecurities growing up. Everyone does. But when I really, it was putting God first and realizing he forgives and you can have a fresh start. And if you learn to forgive and have no resentment in your heart, you're free. And you have no judgment. And it's almost like you drop the fear of people and you drop the need to be liked. Okay. And that is, there's no greater feeling than walking out of church and feeling light and feeling like you're forgiven in a sense.
Yeah.
So I don't need what I used to chase that so much. Like, I gotta have millions of followers. I gotta have this. I gotta have the Ferrari. And I've been in them. I've seen a lot of success, and it doesn't do it.